Hi, good to see you again. I'm Graham Martin. I'm the Recruitment Guy with another 5-minute interview. In fact, I reckon we're going to go a bit over 5 minutes because we're here today at Manor Lodge School, which is in Hertfordshire, and it's what we call a preparatory school, and it's a privately funded school for boys and girls from the ages of
4 to 11.
4 to 11. Now, this is Sarah, who until just a couple of minutes ago didn't realise that you'd be doing this. You thought we were just going to have a chat, didn't you? So
I did.
The camera's a bit of a novelty. So I just want to ask you a little bit about your background and how you found teaching. So, but you've been a teacher for how long?
I've been a teacher for 6 years.
6 years. And what was it that made you want to become a teacher?
I love working with children, and from a young age I've always had a big family and lots of children around me. So
I bet you were the eldest, weren't you?
yes.
Right, so you were always looking after the younger
Lots
kids.
of baby
yeah,
sister
and you've got an
duties.
extended family with cousins, and okay, so that was you.
Lots of friends.
So from an early age you thought, right, I'm going to become a teacher. So what was the focus on from your point of view, GCSEs? What did you need to get to move to the next level?
So I knew I had to get above C's in my GCSEs, and I had to get 3 C's at my A levels as well.
Right.
To be able to begin my course.
And we were talking earlier about your choices of A level. Now, a lot of people, certainly my son just done his A2 exams. He's very focused on a particular field, but you took quite a broad spectrum of A levels. What were they?
Yeah, I took English, art, and psychology.
Yeah.
Purely because of what I liked and what I thought was going to be good for on my course.
And they encourage you to do just that, have a fairly broad view of education.
Yeah, that came across really well when I went to the universities.
Yeah. And after that, you went to university, and what did you study at university?
So I did a BEd in primary education.
Right. So you did an education, a teaching degree.
It's a teaching degree, yes.
And if somebody, for example, has done a law degree and thinks, you know what, I don't want to become a lawyer, there's a transference course,
There is.
conversion?
So once they've got their degree, they can do a PGCE, which is a 1-year teacher training course.
Right.
And they will come out with their teacher degree.
But after you finished your degree, straight into education?
Straight into it, yeah.
Wow. And had you actually had any work experience within a school earlier?
So I'd done my 2 weeks work experience when I was 15.
Yeah.
So that was really good to go and do, and they liked that on the CV.
So the age group you're teaching, tell me about them.
So I teach reception, they're 4 and 5.
4 and 5, and that's in the UK Key Stage?
So it's early years.
Early years.
Yeah, just
okay.
before Key Stage 1.
Okay. And what is it that inspired you to particularly want to teach this age group?
I had a really good experience when I was in reception, and I loved my reception teachers, so I think that always stuck with me.
And do you take them all the way through before they go into the pre-prep? Or do you have a new bunch every single year?
We have a new bunch of children every year. So once they finish with us in reception, they're going to year 1, and we'll have our new class start the following September.
So that must be quite sad, because you get to say goodbye every summer, and you see them around the school as they get bigger and bigger, but you don't necessarily have quite the same connection over the years.
That's it. You do form really good relationships with them, but as they go on, it's nice to see them doing well in the other year groups as well, and they pop back and say hello.
And you get all those presents, don't you, at the end of the summer term? Is that right?
Yeah, a few nice treats.
So what's the best bit about being a teacher, and particularly within the environment you're working in?
I think especially in early years they make so much progress with reading and writing, becoming who they are. It really is just so lovely to see the progress that they make, and you feel proud of what they've done.
And what's the worst bit?
The worst bit, lots of paperwork with the assessments and things like that, but there's not too many bad things.
Now, somebody told me that teachers have long holidays. Do you want to actually look at the camera and tell us the reality of how many weeks holiday you get?
About 18 weeks.
18 weeks. Now, how many months is that, Sarah?
Gosh, I'm in reception.
Yeah, well, it's 4.5 months, isn't it?
Wow, yeah, so we do quite well.
Now, my kids have been in school. I'm here now, and we're after hours. It's now gone 4 o'clock, and there's still a lot of adults around. The kids have gone. So what's going on? You don't go home when the kids go, is that right?
No, that's right. They finish at 3 o'clock, but we're still here at least for a couple of hours. We can go earlier. There's no set time, but there's lots to do. Setting up the classroom, preparing things for the next day, marking children's work. So lots to do.
So it's not just 3:30 out the door, bye.
No.
So the perception that a lot of children have is actually untrue. As an adult, look at this as a career, it really is kind of quite hard work.
Yeah, it is really hard work. You spend lots of time after school taking things home with you as well.
Yeah.
Often at weekends you'll be planning for the following week. So it's lots of work out.
And there's also the opportunity to develop, isn't there, within a school? So what would the career path typically be?
Well, my career path, I came in as a reception teacher. I was then made head of year, and I'm now head of early years. So I'm for the nursery and reception.
And if we equate that to a commercial situation, is that like becoming a manager and getting more money and responsibility?
Definitely.
So do you support some of the newer, younger teachers perhaps?
I don't look after the newer teachers, but I do have a team that I look after in nursery and reception and organise meetings and plan with them.
Yes. So when we think about, I'm slightly losing my edge now, but it's okay, I've forgotten what I was going to say. I told you it'd be the minute mess up, didn't I? So if we're thinking about somebody joining this profession,
Okay.
what, generally speaking, would they be earning if they came in as a newly qualified teacher, either within the state or within the private sector?
It would be over £20,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's quite a good starting
Yeah.
salary, and with that you get if you're in the state system, you get probably a pension, publicly funded pension as well.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. We have a good pension.
Yeah. Okay. And if somebody wanted to think about becoming a teacher, what would be the one thing, if they look at this and they're 14, 15, either in the UK, America or South Africa or Australia, we've got a lot of viewers, what would you say that at 14 to 17 they should be thinking about?
I would try and get as much experience with children as possible. Childminding, any after school clubs, things like that, where you can have experience and put it on your CV and say you've experienced working with children. That was one main thing that they looked for when they spoke to us.
And you had an interview in the normal sense, didn't you? Yes?
Yeah, when we started.
How many interviews did you have to do before you got this job?
I had 2 interviews.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got one and you didn't get the other one. So it's
Yeah,
quite
that's
competitive
good.
then, yes?
It was, I think, and it has got more competitive, definitely.
I'm desperately aware that we're probably over 5 minutes by now, but I'm really interested that we're in the private sector here, and yet you came from the state sector.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not here to promote one over the other, but I'm interested in the differences that your perception provides you.
Yeah, we have a lot more resources. We are really lucky with our facilities that we have at school. Lots of specialist teachers that come in and support the children. The classes are smaller.
Yeah.
There's 2 adults in our class. There's always a teacher and a teaching assistant in reception, so the children have a lot more support.
Now, I know a lot of teachers within the private sector and also within the state sector. And those in the state sector would say that their environment is a little bit more challenging. They have bigger classes. Do you think there's any merit in that? The fact that maybe because they don't have the resources, they've got a bigger class, they have to work perhaps, I wouldn't say harder, but in a slightly different way?
I do. I think it's quite challenging. I definitely think that we have more support in this school than I would have done in my last school.
Is it a stressful job being a teacher?
It can be at times. It gets busy times of the year with reports and lots of assessments going on, or for us at the nativity time at Christmas, there are certain times that get really stressful.
Now, I'm going to put you on the spot here a little bit. I don't want you to give us a name, but just explain to us one of the most uplifting situations you've had this school year with a little boy or a little girl, something that when you drove home you thought, you know what, I saw that happen, I was part of that.
Definitely.
And made a big impact. What thought have you got in your head?
My first thought would be a little girl that started in reception in September, and she was petrified. She was so scared. She wouldn't come from her mum down the corridor, and gradually over the weeks we encouraged her down with lots of different ways of praising her, lots of rewards, and we made really good relationships with her. And now she comes running through the door with a massive hug every morning, and she just absolutely loves school and she doesn't want to go home at the end of the day. So it's a huge change.
And that must be a really inspiring thing to experience.
It's lovely.
To be involved in.
Really lucky.
Yeah. Do you ever cry when you see them go off to the next class?
Oh, maybe a little silent tear.
Maybe a little silent tear. Sarah, thank you. I know we've been over 5 minutes, but this is really, really useful. So there you go. Sarah from Manor Lodge School in South Mims in Hertfordshire. More than 5 minutes, but a really worthwhile interview. So I hope you got a lot from that. So Graham Martin, the Recruitment Guy, saying goodbye.